Good morning, Professor Grondin. Good morning, class. Coming to you from Randall's Children's Hospital in Portland, Oregon. My wife and I have spent the last almost 2 weeks here as we welcomed our little boy, Arthur Reynolds Severson, into the world at 32 weeks old. And so while we've been waiting for him to grow up and acclimate, we've been staying here. So my history of learning started out much like, well, I'd say the rest of us. I went to grade school up to up into high school, and when I got into high school, I really understood that I didn't care for traditional learning as much. There was just something about it didn't retain in my mind as well, and so I had a hard time learning, a hard time staying engaged. And so while I was in high school, I really grew apathetic toward learning. So getting out of high school, I knew that I was going to join the trade industry. And so that was when I really started with my hands-on experience. And this looked like apprenticeships. And then along that journey, I felt called into the military. And so I joined the military. Now, my advanced training was pretty difficult because it was a lot of the academic portion that I had so much apathy for in high school. And so there was a lot of struggle in that. And then as I moved into my job role, there was much more hands-on again. But the skill that I was learning was actually writing. But as a writer for the Army, you use a very active voice. You kind of dismiss all the rules that they teach you in high school. So then going from that training to now has been pretty interesting. I did some leadership classes with a pastor of mine and conferences, and that was really where I knew that I wanted to be a lifelong learner. And because of that, I became very interested in learning more. And as I studied the Bible, knowing that we are all unique, that we all have different perspectives, that we all bring something else to the table. And so I wanted to get to know what I brought to the table, because I thought that I was a failure as a learner and as a student through school, but understanding that that's not the case, that there are people with different learning styles. And so as I've reached this next season of my life, the military has offered, the post 9/11 GI Bill to soldiers who have come and gone, and I really wanted to utilize that to my advantage, and understanding that that it's super important to be a learner, but in this season of my life, to more specifically step into a university and try my hand at learning through the traditional academic process. Quite honestly, I was worried that I was going to fail at that, and so I put it on the back burner. And then when my wife and I became pregnant with our boy, we kind of looked at our life, and we've wanted her to be a stay-at-home mom since we got married, and so now it's just like providing for a family is something very real. And while we trust the Lord with everything that we have, and we trust Him for provision, we also know that it takes hard work. And so we don't want to shy away from those things, but step into them. Challenges that I feel like I am going to face in this process are going to be managing stress for sure. As a young family, as young adults, there are a lot of things that we don't know moving forward. There are, a lot of question marks, and for me, I personally like control, and I struggle with that a lot. And so understanding that God is the one who has control of my life, that He's given free will, that there are a lot of things that I need to put my best foot forward in, but that God is the writer of my life. And relinquishing stress to God is going to be something very important for me. More practically for me, completing reading has been something that I've found difficult in this time. That's simply because I'm a procrastinator by nature, and so completing reading has been something I've noticed when I really step into it and I just decide and I just force myself to get into it, that I succeed a lot better at. And staying healthy is another thing in all aspects, spiritually, physically, mentally. Just starting it off with Jesus, and then exercise, just getting out for runs and making time for that. And then mentally, just communicating with my wife, with my family, and just understanding that this is a time where I don't want to be busy. And so trying to remove that busyness in life has been really difficult, but really spending time focusing on those three areas and just slowing down will be really healthy for myself and my family. The positive strengths that I bring to the table, like I said, that military training that I received during my advanced training, what I learned how to be a news writer for the military, and it was pretty interesting, as I've never done something like that, and then now using that training for writing papers. And so, and for me, a 6 to 8 page paper, that's something not as overwhelming because I've had that experience. And also a strength of mine is diving in without knowing the end. And so just learning to pace myself and to set aside work and accomplish those goals early on will be beneficial as I utilize that strength of diving into things. And then I have a pretty positive outlook overall as well, and that helps a lot because there are times where I get discouraged, but for the most part I would say that I'm pretty excited and lighthearted about those different areas, whether that be learning or life. My top 5 Clifton strengths were activator, strategic, maximizer, futuristic, and command. And I see those benefiting me in my courses, with activator allowing me to step in with boldness and confidence to some of my work. Strategic, being able to utilize that strength to plan things out for my benefit. Maximizer, to utilize my strengths and not focus on my weaknesses so much. With futuristic, being able to keep my goals in mind. And not getting so bogged down with the here and now. And then command of just being able to take control of my academic success and understand that it's not going to happen by itself. And now my action plan for college success is really going to be valuing this degree, valuing this program, and taking it for everything that it's worth. In my past, I haven't valued education, and so I want to rewrite that as I sit next to my son here and think about the things that I want to impart in him. I want to finish well. I want to succeed. I want to be an encouragement to those around me. And so, practically speaking, I need to do my work up front. I need to set aside time. I need to get rid of the word procrastination in my life and step into hard things without putting them on the back burner. Additionally, I would like to invest into learning materials, getting all my books. And I know that e-copies or digital copies are really popular, but I'm a hands-on guy, and so I need that book in front of me. I need to be able to hold it, and so investing in that, because books cost money, and also digital resources as well. I know that there are a few out there that can be really helpful. Moving forward, I want to do those two things as far as focusing, crucifying some of my weaknesses, not being a procrastinator, finishing well what I've started, and also investing into my education. There's literal investment by going to school, but then also in school to value learning materials, to value the tools, to value the things that the professors are offering, and to step into that boldly, financially. So I'm excited to finish up this class. I'm excited for the rest of the semester. Thank you, Professor Grondin. It's been a pleasure class, and hope to see you in classes in the future.